Today we're removing the front door panel from a Nissan Titan. We're going to start with our small flathead screwdriver, and below the door open handle is a small panel we're going to pry from the door and remove. This is going to give access to the first of many hidden screws. With the screw removed, we can take our pry bar and gently pry this small panel from the door panel itself. This will release with a little bit of pry pressure going along the edges of this panel. You can remove this panel and set it to the side. This gives access to another hidden screw behind the panel here that we're going to remove. And with our pry bar, we're going to move to the back bottom edge of the door panel, gently prying the courtesy light assembly from the door. This will access a small connector. This connector has a trigger on the top that you squeeze down into the connector to release the lock and remove and set this panel to the side. With our pry bar, we're going to move back to the top edge of the door panel to the control panel and pry the front leading edge of this panel up. Working down the sides of this panel, releasing clips. This panel will release up out of the opening with pry pressure. Once this panel is up out of the opening, we're going to turn it over and locate these connectors at the back of the panel. These connectors all have a trigger towards the center of them that you squeeze down in to release the lock and allows you to remove the connector. These connectors are all keyed, so they only go back to one specific spot. Usually the driver's door has the most connectors. For other help with wire color codes and speakers, see our website. With these connectors all removed, you can set this panel to the side. Be sure you feed your connectors back through the door panel when removing and reinstalling. When removing this panel, we had the front switches come loose. We turned the panel off and just clipped it back into place. With our pry bar, we're going to go to the small rectangular panel across the armrest, pry at the top, then along the edges to release clips. This panel will remove, and it's going to give access to two more hidden screws, one at the top of the opening along with one towards the bottom of the opening. With these screws removed, we're going to take our pry bar and move to the back edge of the armrest and pry the armrest up from the door panel. Again, these clips release with pry pressure. Work your way along the edges of this armrest and it will release. Remove this panel and set it to the side. This will give access to the final mounting screw to the door panel. With our pry bar, we're going to start at the back bottom edge, pry along the bottom of the door panel, releasing clips. These clips all release with pry pressure. Work up the front and back edges of this panel, releasing clips. When all the clips release, you'll be able to pull the bottom of the door panel slightly back from the door, lift it up out of the door jamb, followed by lifting the front edge up out of the door jamb. Now we're just going to pull this panel slightly from the door. There are several cables that attach to this door. We're going to locate the top cable here and go right to its light gray base, and this base will pull up out of a locking mechanism that will help release the cable from its mount. This will put slack in the cable, allow you to spin the cable around along with the lock at the end. It will align and the cable will pull right up out of the opening. The end of this cable has a long tab on it, fits back to this opening only. Pull the door panel slightly forward again for access to the next cable at the door handle. Again, this is the same type of lock. We're going to locate the light gray base and pull it up out of the opening. Put some slack in the cable, allows this cable to come around and come up out of the slot. The end of this cable has a ball on it, so you will not get these cables mixed up. When reinstalling these cables, they push back into their specific spots. Remove the door panel and check the door for any remaining clips. These clips remove with pry pressure, and you can reinstall them back on the door panel in their corresponding spots for installation. Two ways to remove this speaker: the mount with the speaker, or an 8mm socket removes a 6x9 speaker. Hope this video has been helpful. See our website for wire harness help, and thank you for watching.